Recognizes the Honourable the Member for Virginia Waters-Pleasantville.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to everyone on your recent election victories. It's the first time I've had the opportunity to say that, so it gives me great privilege to rise in this honourable House and deliver my maiden speech as the member for the District of Virginia Waters-Pleasantville, or should I say the historic District of Virginia Waters-Pleasantville. Over the last few weeks and months, we've been debating and writing laws of the land. It is truly starting to sink in for me. The entire process that we are engaged in is a true democracy in action. When I consider that I'm standing here as one of 40 individuals chosen by the voters to make decisions on behalf of Newfoundland and Labrador, and when I consider that the decisions we are making during these legislative sessions will impact the province today and into the future, it is both gratifying and humbling. It's gratifying because my constituents considered me the best choice for the job, and humbling because of the huge responsibility we are taking up here in this House. I am deeply honoured to be here among so many admirable colleagues. As we carry out the important business of governing this province, and as I begin my term of service, I offer this pledge to the honourable colleagues on both sides of the House. I will always carry out my duties in a respectful and courteous manner. I don't care what your politics are. In here, we're all working for the betterment of our home province. I'm honoured to be among you. I have to take a moment to thank the constituents of Virginia Waters-Pleasantville for entrusting me with this great responsibility. I met many of you in the weeks and months leading into the election. I stood on your doorsteps in the East End of St. John's and heard your concerns about your neighbourhood, your city, your province. I heard about your issues that are important to you and your families and your loved ones, your friends and neighbours, and for all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. I promised that you can count on me to be a strong voice advocating on your behalf in this very legislature. I stand here in this House to reaffirm this commitment that I made to you as I begin my first term as an MHA. I will work tirelessly to retain your trust. As long as I'm in office, you will find me accessible and willing to listen. I will never forget that it is my constituents that I am accountable to in all things. I also have to take this opportunity to thank the many volunteer campaign workers who made it possible for me to stand here today. Politics is a team sport, as many people around this House can attest to. Behind every elected official, there's an unsung group of people out knocking on doors, making calls, collecting donations, and hammering down election signs. I had an amazing team on my side. You folks have my lasting gratitude and sincere appreciation for your outstanding efforts. My journey started well before the November election. I had the pleasure of leaving my job right out of university that I had to go on tour with Premier Grimes at the time in 2003. I had to know if I liked politics or not. From that point, I've been volunteering with the Liberal Party as President of Young Liberals, Treasurer for St. John's East Federal Riding Association, on the board for Virginia for the Liberal District in Signal Hill Kitty-Vitty, as well as the past president for Virginia Waters District. This is where I gained all the experience in campaigning and hopefully gave me an opportunity to stand here today. I think it is fair to say that the District of Virginia Waters-Pleasantville is the most diverse of the 40 provincial districts. My constituents come from a wide range of social, economic, ethnic, religious backgrounds. This multicultural nature means that my district has a vibrant sense of community, and I couldn't be happier to be part of it. Diversity is truly something to be celebrated. Friends and neighbours from different walks of life are essential to the fuller appreciation of the human experience. From an urban planning perspective, Virginia Waters-Pleasantville is a diverse area. It ranges from the former American military base in Pleasantville to King William Estates and the landfill at Robin Hood Bay. On Torbay Road and Logie Bay Road alone, there are factories, industrial facilities, media outlets, architectural firms, religious institutions, and residential areas alike. Virginia Waters-Pleasantville is truly a cross-section of St. John's, and I feel honored to be representing the people in this House of Assembly. I would like to make specific mention today to a few issues regarding the district. These are issues that are important to my constituents, and I will champion in this honourable House. For one, I will be following the construction of the new Virginia Park Elementary School slated to be built on Middleton Street very closely as the member for the district. The students of Virginia Park Elementary are currently served by an assortment of portable classrooms tacked onto an old school gymnasium. I firmly believe that they deserve a state-of-the-art facility, and I'm encouraged that the new school is scheduled for the 2017 completion date. Education is truly an investment in our future, and it will be a highlight of my first term in the House of Assembly to be part of the official opening for Virginia Park Elementary as a legacy to school-age children in the district. Part of this process has revealed the need for environmental stewardship in the area. Due to the old military facilities and industrial sites around the district, I will be a strong advocate for the protection and preservation of our environment in the district. To me, the environment has got to be finished first, since it is what is left after all of us are long gone. There's a way to pursue urban development in a responsible and sustainable manner, and I intend for all developments in Virginia Waters-Pleasantville to move in that direction. Another issue I'll pay particular attention to, as mentioned by previous colleagues, is the mental health and addiction support. Thankfully, our provincial government is acutely aware of the challenges Newfoundlanders and Labradorians face with respect to addictions and mental health issues. Our government and our Premier are committed to ensuring programs and services are in place for those who need them the most. I, along with my colleagues, recognise the access to timely and appropriate care is vital in the treatment for mental health and addictions. I will work with my colleagues to implement a comprehensive mental health addiction strategy. Part of this strategy will be the continuation of the All-Party Committee on Mental Health and Addictions. Part of it will be working with the community partners and schools to ensure coordinated and seamless approaches to mental health and addictions. Mr. Speaker, 1 in 5 Newfoundlanders and Labradorians will live with mental health and mental illness in any given year. I'm strongly encouraged that the government I serve in considers mental health and addictions issues a priority. You know, I'm sometimes asked what prompted my decision to enter politics. I've always seen politics as an extension of who I am. Like many of who have been drawn to public service, I've always found I'm most myself when I'm serving in the community. Before running provincially, I had the distinct pleasure of serving as the councillor for Ward 4 in the City of St. John's. My time in the council chambers have given me first-hand knowledge and insight into the importance of municipal government in delivering vital services. Newfoundlanders and Labradorians rely on their municipal governments for dozens of services that enable them to go about their daily business. When I was campaigning to represent Virginia Waters-Pleasantville in the House of Assembly, one of the things I told voters was that I was going to work hard for a stronger relationship between the City of St. John's and the provincial government. I see myself, along with my esteemed colleagues who have made the transition from municipal politics, as an essential link between the municipalities of Newfoundland and Labrador and the provincial government. I know the government that we have the honour to serve in recognises the importance of municipalities and the importance of strong intergovernmental relationships. It will be my privilege to play a role in strengthening these relationships. It is fitting that I stand here giving my maiden speech in Volunteer Week, because I learned many of my skills through that very same sector. I learned how to build bridges, develop long-term relationships between different groups of people when I worked as the Executive Director for the CLB for 13 years. The CLB's mandate is to empower youth to become future leaders by providing them with educational, recreational, and social opportunities. I grew up in this inner city area of St. John's, where there was a lot of opportunity to get yourself into a little bit of trouble. Some of my peers fell off the track, some coming from very similar backgrounds and opportunity levels. I found an organization called the CLB and thrived. This was an unforgettable lesson to me in the value of the community sector. I firmly believe that every one of us has the capacity within ourselves to display excellence, even when we might lose our way from time to time. Those of my friends and neighbors that fell off the track could just as well have been, went on to be model citizens if they had a little bit of easier upbringing. On the other hand, the CLB provided an essential opportunity for any inner city and disadvantaged youth to bring out the good in themselves. The CLB and organizations like it serves an essential bridge between government services, like the school system, and the home lives of these youth. I was truly privileged to serve the community as the CLB's executive director, and I'm tremendously proud that I played a small part in improving the lives of the young people in our community. I am forever thankful to the CLB, not only for allowing me to develop my leadership skills and engagement with the community, but also for giving me the greatest gift I've ever received, the opportunity to meet my incredible wife, Sabrina, some 19 years ago. I'm her biggest supporter and she's my biggest supporter, but she also has this uncanny ability to keep me grounded, like many of my colleagues have said before, and balanced. My lifelong commitment to community services came largely as an inspiration from the example set by my own parents. We grew up in co-op housing in Rabbittown. My mom grew up in foster care and had a positive experience being raised by a family who took her in and raised her like she was their own. When she was growing up and had a family of her own, she decided to give back in the same way that the family had done for her. She left the workforce and devoted herself as a full-time foster parent. My father was a very quiet man from Norris Arm, who instilled a sense of patience, understanding, and hard work in me. He was diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 12 and had an assortment of health issues related to this disease. He lost his battle to cancer at the age of 62. I gained significant interest in our healthcare system through navigating the system with my father. Making improvements to the healthcare in our province is paramount importance, and will make a biggest difference to our aging population. My parents were very enthusiastic and foster parents and had dozens and dozens of foster brothers and sisters when I was growing up. This was a very large and unconventional family. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. The unconventional upbringing instilled in me a high tolerance for change. We cope with changing circumstances through patience, kindness, and a sense of community. The way we pulled together as a family to support each other and overcome challenges has served as the underlying inspiration for my life ever since. It's just as relevant now today as I embark on my first term in the provincial legislature. I truly believe that we are all in this together. All of us Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are members of what amounts to a very large family. We share hopes and heartbreaks. We have mutual goals and fears. We're a family. And what does a family do when it's faced with hard times? It sticks together. Its members band together to support each other through these challenges. To me, this is the way forward for Newfoundland and Labrador. We're all very well aware of the challenges we face. We have an increasing debt and an aging population, a resource-based economy which has been shaken by the unstable commodity prices. There are tough times in store for us, and I don't think any of us has any illusions about that. But if we stick together like families do, through the tough times, then we'll get through it. Newfoundland and Labrador has faced steep challenges before and has succeeded. We will succeed again, and the current challenges in the same way, by supporting each other and pulling together. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to rise and address this honourable House for the first time as a member for the District of Virginia Waters-Pleasantville. Thank you.